Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. My name's Amy. I am an ordained minister, and we're in Bible study. We are in the Niv, and we will be through the end of 2025. In this video, we are in Leviticus chapter 8, and we are going to do all of it, and that goes to verse 36. Let's jump in. We're in the middle of the Mosaic Law getting written. The ordination of Aaron and his sons. The Lord said to Moses, "Bring Aaron and his sons, their garments, their anointing oil, the bowl for the sin offering, the 2 rams, and the basket containing bread made without yeast, and gather the entire assembly at the entrance to the tent of meeting." Moses did as the Lord commanded him, and the assembly gathered at the entrance to the tent of meeting. Moses said to the assembly, "This is what the Lord has commanded to be done." Then Moses brought Aaron and his sons forward and washed them with water. He put the tunic on Aaron, tied the sash around him, clothed him with the robe, and put the ephod on him. I wonder, how clothed was Aaron when he started this dressing part? Was that done in some privacy? Hopefully. He also tied the ephod to him by its skillfully woven waistband, so it fastened on him. He placed the breastplate on him and put the Urim and Thummim in the breastpiece. So the Urim and Thummim, they will reference in much later passages, and it's used to determine what tribe people are in. I liken it to, it was their version of a pendulum in their day. And I'm talking about almost as a divination tool, which I know is very contrary to, what is or isn't supposed to be. But that doesn't mean that it's not some equivalent of that. One of them had a thing on there that said to bless, and the other one had to smite, which is yes or no. And it comes into play very importantly when they're on this march and they encounter things with armies and stuff like that, because this is how they're determining whether or not they were supposed to attack these people or not. Now, how the Urim and Thummim in the breast piece is used specifically, I don't really know. Most people don't know, because it's long since gone. When they went into dysphoria, that's when they were it was known where it was before the Babylonian exile. After the Babylonian exile, then they placed the turban on Aaron's head and set the gold plate, the sacred diadem, on the front of it as the Lord commanded Moses. Because remember, this is the plate that it's got to hang over his head here with words on it. Then Moses took the anointing oil and anointed the tabernacle and everything in it, and so consecrated them. He sprinkled some of the oil on the altar 7 times, anointing the altar and all its utensils and the basin with its stand to consecrate them. He poured some of the anointing oil on Aaron's head and anointed to consecrate him. Then he brought Aaron's sons forward, put tunics on them, tied sashes around them, and put headbands on them, as the Lord commanded Moses. He then presented the bull for the sin offering, and Aaron's and his sons laid hands on its head. Moses slaughtered the bull and took some of the blood with its finger and put it on the horns on the altar to purify the altar. He poured out the rest of the blood at the base of the altar, so he consecrated it to make atonement for him. Moses also took all the fat around the inner parts of the covering of the liver and both kidneys and their fat and burnt it on the altar. But the bull with its hide and its flesh and its offal, he burned up outside the camp as the Lord commanded Moses. He then presented the ram for burnt offering. And Aaron and his sons laid their hands on its head. Then Moses slaughtered the ram and sprinkled the blood against the altar on all sides. He cut the ram into pieces and burned the head, the pieces and the fat. Okay. He washed the inner parts and the legs with water and burned the whole ram on the altar as a burnt offering, a pleasing aroma. Me and Lauren have a disagreement about what smell of burning goat hair would be pleasing or not, but it's all right. Or, any hair. I don't know the smell of any burning hair. As an offering made to the Lord by fire, as the Lord commanded Moses. He then presented the other ram, the ram for ordination, and Aaron and his sons laid hands on its head. Moses slaughtered the ram and took some of its blood and put it on the lobe of Aaron's right ear, on the thumb of his right hand, and on the big toe of his right foot. Moses brought Aaron's sons forward and put some blood on the lobes of their right ears, on the thumbs of their right hands, and on the big toes of their right feet. Then he sprinkled blood against the altar on all sides. He took the fat tail, and all the fat around the inner parts, the covering of the liver, both kidneys, and their fat, and the right thigh. Then from the basket of bread made without yeast, which was before the Lord, he took a cake of bread and made one with oil and a wafer, and he put these on the fat portions on the right thigh. He put all these in the hands of Aaron and his sons and waved them before the Lord as a wave offering. Then Moses took them from their hands, and he burnt them on the altar on top of the burnt offering as an ordination offering, a pleasing aroma, as an offer made to the Lord by fire. Then he took the breasts, Moses' share of the ordination ram, and waved it before the Lord as a wave offering, as the Lord commanded Moses, because Moses did all that work, so Moses gets the food. Then Moses took some of the anointing oil and some of the blood of the altar and sprinkled them on Aaron and his garments and his sons and their garments. So they consecrated Aaron and his garments and his sons and their garments. Moses then said to Aaron and his sons, "Cook the meat at the entrance to the tent of meeting and eat it there with the bread from the basket of the ordination offerings, as I commanded, saying, Aaron and his sons," I got A, or as I was commanded, "Aaron and his sons are to eat it. Then burn the rest of the meat and the bread. Do not leave the entrance to the tent of meeting for 7 days until the days of your ordination are complete. For your ordination will last 7 days. What has been done today was commanded by the Lord to make an atonement for you. You must stay at the entrance to the tent of meeting day and night for 7 days and do what the Lord requires so that you will not die, for that is what I have been commanded." So Aaron and his sons did everything the Lord commanded through Moses. It's a lot. It's a lot of touching things with blood. And why the right side? I've asked myself that question before. It shows up in the Bible quite frequently. The right side seems to be about for blessings. And it also seems to be who's going to be the dominant one of the group. When blessings have gone, when Israel was giving blessings to Joseph's kids, he put his right hand on one and his left hand on the other, but it wasn't the birth order, and that upset Joseph, and that's because the younger will serve the older, as is what happened with Jacob and Esau. So, until the next video, friends. Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. My name is Amy. I'm an ordained minister, and we are in Bible study. We are in the Niv, and we will be through the end of 2025. We are in Leviticus in this video, and we are in chapter 9. So again, this is the Mosaic law as it comes to be. It's not just the 10 commandments, it's the rest of it. So in the previous chapter, Moses had ordained Aaron and his sons just as the Lord had commanded. Okay? The priests begin their ministry. On the 8th day, Moses summoned Aaron and his sons and the elders of Israel. He said to Aaron, Take a bull calf for your sin offering and a ram for your burnt offering, both without defect, and present them before the Lord. Then say to the Israelites, take a male goat for a sin offering, a calf and a lamb, both a year old and without defect, for a burnt offering, and an ox, each, or is that supposed to be? Oh, maybe I guess this would be. This means both male and female, non-gender specific, and a ram for the fellowship offering, traditionally called the peace offering, to sacrifice before the Lord, together with a grain offering mixed with oil. For today the Lord will appear to you. They took the things Moses commanded to the front of the tent of meeting, and the entire assembly came and stood before the Lord. Then Moses said, "This is what the Lord has commanded you to do, so that the glory of the Lord may appear to you." Moses said to Aaron, "Come to the altar and sacrifice your sin offering and your burnt offering, and make atonement for yourself and the people. Sacrifice the offering that is for the people, and make atonement for them, and as the Lord has commanded." So Aaron came to the altar and slaughtered the calf as a sin offering for himself, his finger into the blood, and put it on the horns of the altar. The rest of the blood he poured at the base of the altar. On the altar he burned the fat, the kidneys, and the covering of the liver from the sin offering, as the Lord commanded Moses. The flesh and hide he burnt outside the camp. Then he slaughtered the burnt offering. His sons handed him the blood, and he sprinkled it against the altar on all sides. They handed him the burnt offering piece by piece, including the head. So at least that means they were butchering it for him, right? And he burned them on the altar. He washed the inner parts and the legs and burnt them on top of the burnt offering on the altar. Aaron then brought the offering that was for the people. He took the goat for the people's sins and slaughtered it and offered it for a sin offering, as he did with the first one. He brought the burnt offering and offered it in the prescribed way. He also brought the grain offering. He took a handful of it and burned it on the altar in addition to the morning's burnt offering. He slaughtered the ox and the ram as the fellowship offering for the people. His sons handed him the blood, and he sprinkled it against the altar on all sides. But the fat portions of the ox and the ram, and the fat tail, and the layer of fat, the kidneys, and the covering of the liver, they laid on the breast, and then Aaron burnt the fat on the altar. Aaron waved the breast and the right thigh before the Lord as a wave offering, as Moses commanded. Then Aaron lifted his hands towards the people and blessed them. And having sacrificed the sin offering, the burnt offering, and the fellowship offering, he stepped down. Moses and Aaron then went into the tent of meeting, and when they came out, they blessed the people, and the glory of the Lord appeared to all the people. Fire came out from the presence of the Lord and consumed the burnt offering and the fat portions on the altar. And when all the people saw it, they shouted for joy and fell face down. I cannot imagine what it would be like to be standing there, and then all of a sudden, there's a ball of fire burning up this offering. Now, I'm also going to say that if you have Disney Plus, I have Disney Plus, and if you have Disney Plus, they have 2 different archaeological shows that go through biblical locations with the archaeology. And in one of them, they talked about how the area had these big, like sort of mountains of salt, and how there's pockets of natural gas naturally just under there, and how like any little spark could have, blasted that off. So it could be that this is placed in the right place for, God to make that spark, because, if you were going to do it and you had your choice and you could do it. Are you going to make it harder on yourself when you're the Almighty? Or are you going to make it easier on yourself? I mean, do we ever truly try to make it harder on ourselves? Because that's not even what he wants us to do. Struggle is something that comes, and we're supposed to keep our faith. But we're supposed to have the faith to know that this too shall pass. In case somebody out there needed to hear that today. This too shall pass. Indeed. It'll pass easier if you spend a little time talking to him about it. Hello, friends, and welcome to the late afternoon edition of Bible study. It's just the way this Sunday is gone. Sometimes you've got people in front of you, and that is who you have to be focused on. So we are, yes, in the Niv, or unfortunately for whoever that upsets. We are in the book of Mark. We're going to be in other versions of the Bible in other years. We just have to get through all the words of this one first. We're going to do chapter 4 of Mark, but we're going to do it in 2 separate videos. We're going to do 1 through 25 in this one. So chapter 4, verse 1. Let's jump in. The parable of the sower. Again, Jesus began to teach by the lake. The crowd that gathered around him was so large that he got into a boat and sat in it out on the lake, while all the people were along the shore at the water's edge. He taught them many things by parables, and in his teaching said, "Listen, a farmer went out to sow his seed. As he was scattering the seed, some fell along the path, and the birds came and ate it up. Some fell on the rocky places where it did not have much soil. It sprang up quickly, but because the soil was shallow. Because the soil was shallow. Sprang up quickly because the soil was shallow. But when the sun came out, the plants were scorched, and they withered because they had no root. So they looked promising at first, but then did not really have any longevity there. Other seeds fell among thorns, which grew up and choked the plants, so they did not bear grain, right? So still other seeds fell on good soil. It came up, grew, and produced a crop, multiplying 30, 60, or even 100 times. Then Jesus said, "He who has ears to hear, let him hear." When he was alone, the 12 and the others around him asked him about the parables. He told them, "The secret of the kingdom of God has been given to you. But to those on the outside, everything is said in parable, so that they may be ever seeing but never perceiving, be ever hearing but never understanding. Otherwise, they might turn and be forgiven." D, that's Isaiah chapter 6, verses 9 and 10. Then Jesus said to him, "Don't you understand this parable?" Like Jesus was disturbed that his apostles didn't understand what he was saying. Yeah? How then will you understand any parable? Because to him this is a basic, and he doesn't understand how they don't understand. Okay. The farmer sows the word. Some people are like seeds along the path where the word is sown. As soon as they hear it, Satan comes and takes away the word that was sown in them. Like they hear what is being said, and they make absolutely no changes, and they don't believe you, and it doesn't matter. Satan comes in and takes away the word of the Lord. Others, like the seed sown on rocky places, hear the word, and at once they receive it with joy. But since they have no root, they only last a short time. When trouble or persecution comes because of the word, they quickly fall away. Like, if I'm going to be treated like this, then I'm not going to keep doing this. Still others, like a seed among thorns, hear the word, but the worries of this life, the deceitfulness of wealth, and the desire for things come in and choke the word, making it unfruitful. Meaning you get so focused on the rat race and the clout chasing and the being important and the how am I going to handle this, that, or the other thing. And when we're want to compare our lives to others and we have expectations about what, faith means as far as wealth and all that good stuff. So, the word never really gets to hit them because they're only concerned with their worldly concerns. Others, like seed sown on good soil, hear the word, accept it, and produce a crop 30, 60, or even 100 times what was sown. They hear the word, they take it into their heart, and they act out there in the world the way that they're supposed to spread love and light instead of hate and, dissension. Because we're not meant to be hurting one another. Okay, so Mark chapter 4, verse 21, a lamp on a stand. He said to them, do you bring in a lamp to put it under a bowl or a bed? That would be a no, because we don't really bring lamps in like that anymore, but no. Instead, don't you put it on a stand? Yes. For whatever is hidden is meant to be disclosed, and whatever is concealed is meant to be brought out into the open. Oh. All secrets shall be exposed to the light of day at some point. If anyone has ears to hear, let him hear. Verse 24, consider carefully what you hear. He continued, with the measure you use, it will be measured to you, and even more. Ooh. That's the do unto others as you would have others do unto you. If you're going to call yourself, it also falls into that clause. If you're going to call yourself one particular religion over another, you need to follow the rules of that religion perfectly, because they are the measure of whether or not you will get into heaven. So whatever that is, don't mess it up. Whoever has will be given more, and whoever does not have, even what he has will be taken from him. Okay, so judge not, lest you be judged. If you're going to judge somebody on that subject matter, you better make sure you're perfect in your life, because they don't really take to that kind of thing in the world of the Messiah. No hypocrisy. Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. My name's Amy. I'm an ordained minister. We're in Bible study. We are in the Niv, and we will be through the end of 2025. We are in Psalms, Book 1, Psalm 37, and we are doing verses 12 through 29. So let's jump in. The wicked plot against the righteous and gnash their teeth at them. Ooh, they're angry. But the Lord laughs at the wicked. He does, for he knows their day is coming. The wicked draw the sword and bend the bow to bring down the poor and needy, to slay those whose ways are upright. But their sword will pierce their own hearts, and their bow will be broken. Better the little that the righteous have than the wealth of many wicked. For the power of the wicked will be broken, but the Lord upholds the righteous. The days of the blameless are known to the Lord, and their inheritance will endure forever. In the times of disaster, they will not wither. In the days of famine, they will enjoy plenty, but the wicked will perish. The Lord's enemies will be like the beauty of the fields. They will vanish like smoke. But the wicked borrow and do not repay, but the righteous give generously. Those the Lord blesses will inherit the land, but those he curses will be cut off. If the Lord delights in a man's way, he will make his steps firm. Though he may stumble, he will not fall, for the Lord upholds him with his hand. I was young, and now I am old, yet I have never seen the righteous forsaken, or their children begging for bread. They are always generous and lend freely. Their children will be blessed. Turn from evil and do good, and then you will dwell in the land forever. For the Lord loves the just and will not forsake his faithful ones. They will be protected forever. But the offspring of the wicked will be cut off. The righteous will inherit the land and dwell in it forever. The righteous, not the wicked. So how did you get what you have?